Warning, there will be spoilers throughout this podcast. If you have not yet read or finished reading this book, we suggest that you stop here and come back after you have read the book. If you just don't give a shit, then keep on listening. So we'll see what she says.
Wait, when did she say she couldn't do hot pot?
We don't worry about it. We were texting in a group chat without you.
Oh. Bitches? Oh my god. Wait, are we not friends anymore?
We are, but I had to discuss something that you didn't need to know.
Yeah. That's the only reason
Don't worry about it. Don't
My feelings are actually hurt.
Crystal!
No!
Don't look at me.
It
was for your birthday! I can't tell you!
for your birthday.
Would you like me to just text the...
Worse. No,
it doesn't!
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, next time, alright, fine. Next time I'll just text what I'm doing for your birthday in the regular chat with you so you know.
Surprises.
It's not okay, well, I guess I could tell you because it doesn't really matter, but I was just letting them know that I'm paying for your hot pot.
Oh, Nicole, you have to do that.
Yes! This is the thing we do!
Right, it's birthdays. It's what we do. It's what friends do for each other.
I was just texting them to let them know, hey, I'm paying for here. I will literally read you what we wrote.
No, it's okay.
Yes, no, it's not.
No, it's okay.
I turned around and I said, hey, so who had Crystal for Secret Santa? What's her favorite candy? Also, me and Ashley are going to pay for her hot pot. LOL. That is literally what I texted them. And Leah was like, yes, sorry, it was Sour Straws. Sorry, so late.
Literally, the messages, it's literally just like one length of messages and that's it.
Oh my god.
And that's why I'm so mad because I literally bought you a bag of Sour Straws and they're sitting on my island
Fucking
counter.
love sour straws.
So.
I'll fuck up a sour candy any day. Sour gummies.
I know.
I love them.
I love this. I love that I have a group of girls that just love to read.
Yeah.
And that we can go to the bookstore and go out to eat.
That's literally what we're doing after this podcast
Oh,
today
yes.
is heading
So
to Hot Pot and then Barnes & Noble.
Yes! Because
So-
it's Crystal's birthday tomorrow.
It is! Happy birthday, Crystal!
I can't swim.
Did you just say I can't
I
swim?
can't swim. You ever see that vine?
Happy birthday, Raven!
And then this little girl, she goes like, I can't swim. No, you have to look it up right now. Happy birthday, Raven. I can't swim. They're on the beach. They're on the beach, and the lady spelled out like Raven's name in the sand. And she's this little girl, and she goes, "Happy birthday, Raven!" And the Raven's looking out in the ocean. She goes, "I can't swim."
Hi, hello, we are back. I'm Nicole.
I'm Leah.
I'm Crystal.
And this is oh my god, why can't I say it?
Obsessed.
Literaturely Obsessed. Oh my god, I came up with the name and I can't say it. Mara is not here again today. Both of these episodes were filmed on the same day, so that is why Mara is not here for both of them. She will be back for the next episodes. But today we are talking A Court of Mist and Fury by our dear friend of the podcast, Sarah J. Maas. This book is 624 pages, and it was first published May 3rd of 2016. And it says, Feyre survived Amarantha's clutches to return to the Spring Court, but at a steep cost. Though she now has the powers of the High Fae, her heart remains human, and it can't forget the terrible deed she performed to save Tamlin's people. Nor has Feyre forgotten her bargain with Rhysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. As Feyre navigates its dark web of politics, passion, and dazzling power, a greater evil looms, and she might be key to stopping it, but only if she can harness her harrowing gifts, heal her fractured soul, and decide how she wishes to shape her future, and the future of a world torn apart. What I was saying before is I really need to make that tattoo appointment because I fucking need my mountains and my wings on my knee.
Yeah.
I need it. I just don't know whose wings I want to get.
Oh my god.
Probably Cassian's.
Cassian.
Oh my god.
I love him.
Okay,
Uh,
do we know that?
No, go ahead.
I saw a TikTok that was showing like their heights. Do we know their heights?
It doesn't.
Just that
they
they're
don't
tall.
specify.
Somebody put that Cassian was 6'8".
What?
I was like,
I don't think so.
was
At
like-
most, I don't think people realize how tall 6'8" is.
it's
At
tall.
most, I would say like 6'3".
Yeah, because they said
At
Rhysand's
most.
6'2", Cassian 6'8", and Az is 6'4". I was like,
No, but
whoa.
okay. To me, Az is shorter than
Me
Reese.
Yes, that's what I.
In
read.
my mind, he's shorter than them.
Yeah, he's probably like.
He would be like he would be like 6 feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then like
Reese
yeah,
is like a
Reese is like a 6'2", and then Cass is like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I picture.
yeah. Same. Because
But then I also picture like
6'8" is like a monster.
true. But then I also picture like Moore is like a good like 5'7".
well, I
Five
I
eight.
honestly picture her 5'10".
Yeah, like she's
Okay,
tall.
yeah.
Model.
And then
Yeah.
Amryn, to me, Amryn's like a good 5'5". Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's short.
No,
I
I
picture
feel like
Amryn
she's
5'2".
5'2"?
She's short.
She's tiny.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, think about how like her and Valerian, right? That's his name,
Yeah.
right? The guy that I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it's always like she's just like, oh my gosh, somebody had said something about like she could just like jump on him because
Yeah.
she's like so small.
So,
you know what I mean?
Teeny tiny.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's so cute.
As she that's so cute. But then she just said in the other
I know.
podcast that it's cringe.
No, it's different. It's different when the dynamic is big, huge man, Adam Driver, and then like fucking tiny, like infant. Like,
What's the difference between Valarian being this big tall man
Yeah.
and Amryn being
I said
5'2"?
she's cute. She's cute.
No.
She is cute.
Crystal.
I love Amryn.
Stand by it.
Go around and do our reviews and quick little thoughts, and then we'll get into it.
Yes.
Crystal, you wanna go first?
This book, it's like a 4 for me. I like this book. I don't think it's as great as The Court of Summer Flames. And I'm
I
so
love The
sorry.
Court of Summer Flames.
Every single one of these episodes, I'm going to talk about Court of Summer Flames. But I love this book. We'll get into my thoughts later.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is a 5
Mm-hmm.
for me. This I don't give out 5s often,
No.
but this book will stay with me till I die. Like it is constantly on my brain. I still have yet to find a series that compares to ACOTAR, and this book in particular, I'm just obsessed with everything about it. Yeah,
It is a masterpiece.
it really is. I love it.
I rated. Me and Leah are so different because Leah's like, I never give out 5s. Everything is a fucking 5 to me. So this is a 5, solid 5. I will say though that I really didn't remember this book, and I know I said it
Yeah.
last time, but I read this series such a long time ago that I really did not remember.
And Nicole has like a first edition copy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the
like the
original.
OG.
OG.
Yes.
Like my dust jacket is blue and it has Feyre on the front, with her beautiful tattoo on her hand. And it blows my mind that now this book is considered a green book when this book is blue.
Yeah, I put green tabs in my book, and you put blue tabs in your book.
Blue tabs in mine. But yeah, I really didn't remember a lot of I remembered bits and pieces, but I really forgot a lot of this book.
Yeah.
And it brought back so much rereading it, and 100% a 5 for me. 100% a 5.
It's just so good.
It is.
I remember like the main thing that happens in this book, right? But I'm also the kind of person where like I read a book and I finish it and immediately I've forgotten what it's about. I've forgotten everything.
That's like
Um,
that. Like I'm like that with everything that I read, even
Yeah.
if I love it.
Yeah.
Even if I love it,
Yeah.
but I can tell you, like I said, this is the one series that I can recall almost everything. that happened
Yeah.
in these books.
For me, it's just so much happens in these books that it's like.
There is a lot. There's
Just
like
so
this
much.
is a hefty boy.
In
This is what
single book. You got like 4, 5, 6 different plots that happen. At
true.
one time.
Well, this is like what? This is like almost like a 630 page book.
Yeah, it's
like this
almost-
is a hefty boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know? There's a lot of shit that happens in this book.
Yeah.
And I mean it starts off in one court with like one whole thing going on. It moves into a completely different court, and then it ends back in that same court that it began in, you know? So there's a lot of shit that goes on in this book.
Yeah.
Right.
Um
So, I mean, essentially we start off, like, with Farah kind of, I guess, how would you explain it? Like, she was depressed.
she's
Is she
depressed.
after-
She's depressed.
It is after Under the Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's kind of getting used to like being back in like society, essentially. But also realizing that, you know, life in the spring court might not be what
She thought it was.
She thought it would be. You know, she and Tamlin are preparing for their wedding.
Which
was
blows
like-
my mind that they're just like they
Yeah.
jump right back into it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's insane to think too that like Under the Mountain was only 3 months.
Yeah.
That's all. Like the way, and I think it's because her writing is so well done. The way that she explains it makes it feel like Under the Mountain was like years
Yeah.
for. I mean, yes,
Right.
it was years for all the people who were under there. I mean, they were under there for 49 years. But even for Farah, it feels like it was years for her, when in all reality, it was only 3
But
months.
also, like, think, you know, she's essentially being tortured.
True. Yes.
That can feel like years, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I don't think for her it makes a difference whether it was 3 months or like, you know,
3
50
years, yeah.
Yeah, like it, you know, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. I just.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say there you get a little bit more of like the Spring Court's like politics in here.
Which is
They start
trash.
talking about the tithe that they have to start doing. They haven't done it since, you know, Amarantha kind of took over. It's essentially where every citizen of the
It's taxes. It's literally taxes.
Yes.
Like,
But it's done in such a way that is just so
Medieval.
yes, and it's just so okay.
Cool.
I wrote down here in page 94. The irony of Tamlin calling the water wraith a gluttonous fairy when he's the one who has no rules in place for those who cannot give their tithe. Tamlin is the one who makes the rules and he can change them anytime he pleases. And yet he is just kind of just bound by like tradition. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's just like, oh well, this is the way Dad's always done it. This is the way, you know, they've always done it, and so we just have to keep doing it this way. Even though you're the High Lord of the Spring Court and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Tamlin is a. I might get hate for this.
Say it.
I might. He's a very, very narcissistic, gaslighting, to a T, abusive man.
yeah.
He is one of those men that you see women in a relationship with,
And you're like,
and
oh my
he
God,
will never
save her.
change. Yes,
Someone
save her,
Yeah.
and because he will never change.
Yeah.
Yep.
He will promise you, and I'm pretty sure most of us have either been in a relationship with somebody like this or met somebody like this, where they will promise you the moon and beyond, and they will promise you 100% that they will change their ways.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry that I hit you that one time, it'll never happen again.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I'm so sorry I wrecked the study in a fit of rage.
Yeah.
After you got taken away on our wedding day, it'll never happen again.
Yeah.
And then it just happens again.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is a literal piece of shit,
Yep.
and I hate him. I hate him.
And this is just in the beginning of the
Right, exactly. This is within the first what, 100 pages?
Yeah.
The first 100 pages. This is what he just proves to you. He will never change. He will promise her 100%, 100%, and it will just never happen. And to me, too, the fact that she could feel, page 16, she literally could feel that there was no mating bond between her and Tamlin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She knew that it wasn't there, but yet she was still going to go through with this marriage just because I feel like at her, she thought it was owed to him.
Yeah, I think she felt obligated.
She did.
And I think in a sense that she did love him.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and like, but at the end of the day, she is so young and she's so naive. She's never loved anyone
And
before.
he saved her from like famine and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
And saved her family on top of it too.
Yes.
He
Of
gave
course
them all
you
this
would fall in love
money.
with your
Yeah.
savior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Stockholm syndrome again. Another kind of version of Stockholm syndrome.
yes, like you don't
You
know
know?
who you are in this world yet. Like you, yeah, he was trash. I want to hear from a Tamlin sympathizer.
Right.
And I am a Tamlin sympathizer in the sense that I so badly want Tamlin to have a redemption.
Yeah.
Because I think there is good in him, and I think there's a reason that his subjects, his servants, Lucian, I think there's a reason that they're all loyal to him, and it's because they see something in him that we don't get to see.
But I can't because it's the next book, so I can't really
No, that's okay. I mean, I
talk
feel like, I
talk
feel
on
like,
it. Cause they end up not. They end up really
Right.
realizing how much of a shitty fucking person he is.
Right.
And literally everybody leaves him.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
He is left with not a single person in his corner
Yeah.
because of the things that he does.
Right. But for so long.
For so long because
so long.
because he's one of those. Trust me. I'm gonna cut this whole part out probably. But this was my ex. My ex made you think that they were the most amazing person in the world. To your face, my ex would tell you everything that you wanted to hear. She was like the perfect best friend, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect daughter, the perfect this. And behind closed doors, she was a piece of fucking shit. Like that's what Tamlin is. He will tell you everything that you want to hear so that you will quote unquote love them because they are fearful of not being. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because it's the difference between Cardian in the book we just talked about, Queen of Nothing, to Tamlin in ACOTAR series, to where Cardian was so afraid of never being loved that he turned to this terrible person, but deep down inside he actually is a caring person who wants to care for somebody. He's just afraid that he's never going to get it. But as soon as he gets it, he's like, damn, okay, I was wrong about myself this entire time.
Right.
And I am capable of being loved. And I am capable of giving people love. It was just the fact that I hadn't ever had the right person.
Right.
Whereas then you come into Tamlin, who also in his mind is thinking, I'm not capable of loving somebody. I'm not capable of being loved. I have this heart of stone, that Feyre breaks through in the first book. But once he actually gets that love, he's still just like, I just need to be a shit person because that's just who I am.
I think it's now I have this love and now I need to keep it by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's correct, but I think trauma kind of affects people in different ways. And like I said, it's not right, but I just so badly want him to have a redemption. Because I do think he's I think the entire concept of the Spring Court is just so interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love if we could spend more time there. Same in the other courts. I wish we knew more about the Autumn Court. But
We
I
get to
just
see
want
a little bit of, what do we get to see a little bit of, what court did they go into? Summer?
Yeah.
Summer. You get to see a little bit of Summer Court.
Yeah. But I would love that for all the other courts. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I want a redemption from him because I'm that kind of person. I love an underdog story. Okay,
Yeah.
I love it when somebody can come back from something.
And we know that Miss Sarah J. Maas could do it.
She can do
could.
it. She
Yeah.
can do
100%
it.
she could.
Okay, not to speculate. Do you think Tamlin is maybe based on somebody in Sarah's
Yeah.
real life.
100%.
Because it just feels so personal.
100%.
Right? It just feels so personal. It feels so real.
Yeah.
You know, the way that she like talks, that way the way that she writes Tamlin.
Yeah, I can see
know?
it.
And also like Feyre's thoughts on Tamlin, right? Because she realizes that she is in a bad situation, right?
Mhm.
And yet somehow is still sympathizes
Yeah.
with Tamlin.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because I mean, that's what those types of people do to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's because if you think about it too, it's not just that he's worn her down mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole point of Rhys doing what he does and basically stealing her away is because of how she looks.
Yeah.
The thoughts that are running through her head of how sick she is constantly. She's not eating. She's literal skin and bones.
Yeah.
Like, Tamlin has worn her down so much that if
Yeah.
she did try to fight him, she couldn't. If
Yeah.
she did try and run away on her own, there's no way she'd survive
Right.
out in
I
the
just
wilderness
don't
by
know,
herself.
Like, how you can say you love somebody and see them physically dying
Right.
I know.
in front of you.
Yeah.
That to me was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
insane.
It is just kind of a little bit of like that narcissist kind of personality, right? Where he's like, oh well, she says she's fine, so everything's fine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and doesn't look further into that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
That was just the whole beginning of this book was so dark and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sad because like you could feel her despair, like you could feel
Yeah.
just how in like
It was like cloying almost, like
Yeah.
like you feel like I'm not claustrophobic, but like this made
You,
me feel
oh,
claustrophobic.
I 100% am, and like the scene where she gets locked in the house,
that
where
part.
Tamlin and Lucian like
Yes.
walk out, and she's like
Yes.
banging on,
Yeah.
basically banging on the open window
Yeah.
because there's just like a glamour or whatever it is
Right,
over it
exactly.
that's locked her in the house.
Right.
I can't breathe when I
Yes.
read that part.
Yeah.
Like I could literally feel myself like starting to hyperventilate,
Yeah,
and
literally.
it's part of the anxiety
Yeah.
where you just have to get out,
Yeah.
and knowing that you can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that scene was
Well-
described was so well written
Yeah.
to the point that like even in my head I was like he freaking locked her in the
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
locked
it's-
her in the house,
yeah.
locked her in the house, and it was just a constant, just like oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was
Mhm.
I think it's also very telling of Lucian, who just like sees it all happen, and he's like, "Whoa, maybe don't do that." And Tamlin's like, "Shut the fuck up," and like he just does it. You know what I mean?
He's very much a
Lucian's
follower.
Like, okay, you know, yeah.
He just
exactly.
follows. He just
There's a like page 95 after Tamlin finds out about the gold that Feyre gave to like the water wraith.
yeah.
And Tamlin finds out about it. He's like, "Listen, you're gonna make a fool of me because this is not the way we do things." And Lucian was like, "Well, you know, she meant it she meant no harm, essentially." And Tamlin's like, "Well, you have no part of this, so why don't you be quiet?" Kind of thing.
like
And
just
it
like,
was
it's like so
it was-
demeaning,
yes,
so
yes.
demeaning,
But
and
it also just made me upset. Like, Lucian, like, stand up. Like, that's your friend.
Yeah.
You say she's your friend and you care about her, and yet you can't stand up to the man who's treating her so
Mhm.
badly.
right.
You know? Like,
And
and
I think
get
it just
I
goes.
get it
I
that-
think it just goes back to like how you said like people receive. I guess like act in a way towards like what's happened to them in the past, like trauma,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And because of everything that happened in Lucian's past, I think maybe
Is he
that
afraid to stand up to Tamlin?
right,
Yeah.
in order to not get cast out again,
Yeah.
right? In
Yeah,
order to
Tamlin
not
also
lose.
took-
He doesn't have
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
The only
exactly.
person he has is Tamlin.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
where if Tamlin was exactly if Tamlin was to cast him out, where's he gonna go?
Exactly.
There is
Yeah.
no place for him to
So
go.
that's what I'm saying. So I get Lucian, but at the same time I was really upset. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like Tamlin.
I don't
like,
either. I
I don't
can't
like
stand him.
Tamlin, and I want to believe that there's something good about him. Maybe that's why Lucian is with him, because I know Lucian's a good person. You know what I mean? Like he shows it time and time again, but then at the same time, it's like, but you're a wimp and
Yeah.
you're a coward. And like I don't know.
Yeah.
It should, yeah. It's also too. Fucking Ianthe.
Oh my
I-
gosh!
like,
I was stressed
what?
out.
How we're calling her? What we're calling her?
I said Ianthe.
I always say
I-
Anthe.
Oh, I
Yeah.
call her Ianthe. I thought the E was just kind of silent.
I don't
It
know.
was like Penelope at the end, like an E. I don't know.
Anthe? Is that what we're saying?
Ianthe?
Ianthe?
Ianthe.
Ianthe?
Because I'll say this. That's what the first book has a
The girl with the moves
Key,
on
yeah.
her forehead.
but the first book has like I don't know if your guys' first book has it, but I know that the first book of the original copy has a pronunciation key in it.
Really?
This one doesn't.
I don't think mine does.
The second book doesn't. I know the first
Oh,
book
okay.
does, but I don't know. I always say Ianthe,
Anyway.
but her.
Yes.
I just don't. She has gone to all of these men, especially to like
she's a,
the.
what's the right word? She's a pervert, dude.
She is a pervert.
She's a pervert.
She literally okay, so she goes to Reese and literally like the image that he gives Feyre in her mind of her laying on the bed, fucking pretty much spread fucking eagle, just like come and take it, and he's just like you can get the fuck out of my room, bitch. Like fuck you.
Yes.
Like I don't want you. She's done the same thing to Lucian.
Okay. Yeah.
How does Tamlin just not see it? Like he's just fine with her just like throwing herself at people, and he's just like,
She's probably
we'll have her
She's probably thrown herself at him.
probably, and he's just like, okay, we'll have her help rule this court. Cool.
Yeah, well, we also do kind of know that Tamlin is kind of like, I don't know, like he does seem the type that would have multiple consorts.
Oh, of
right?
course,
Like-
100%.
Like he's like, oh, there's no such thing as a high lady. Like,
Yep.
it's just so
So that's what I'm
misogynistic,
saying.
and it's
I-
like, so who knows?
He probably
he
is
probably got
wrong.
okay with it. He
Yes.
was like, okay, yeah.
He hit that definitely.
He's just.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, this is
I
just the way
definitely
things
feel like
are.
it.
This is just the way things are in his mind.
Mhm.
Like, you know, and Feyre's got to get used to it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and
I'm showing her the way.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
showing her how
Yeah.
to do things.
And my thing, she just the whole time tried to make Feyre look so bad too.
Yeah.
Like that wedding dress.
Well,
Like,
first of-
ma'am.
Well, and
Oh,
also
yeah.
the fact about the roses, the red roses. Like Feyre specifically asked
no red.
No red.
no red.
And then she just gives red.
Yeah.
And she's just like she's just pretty.
Not a girl's girl.
She's not a girl's
At
girl
all.
in the slightest. In the
Girls
slightest.
around here.
And I don't want to jump into the next book, but I just love what Feyre does to her in the next book. I just love it.
Oh yeah.
I just love it. But I can't stand her either. I fucking hate her so much.
So then, the wedding.
The wedding.
The wedding.
The wedding.
which should not
The-
be happening.
Should
No.
not be
At
happening.
all.
And Feyre's kind of having some cold feet.
Some.
Frozen feet.
She is screaming in her mind for
Yeah.
somebody to come and
She's
save
like,
her.
Hey, somebody, if anybody's listening, please come and help. And we'll deny it later when Reese is like, well, you asked me to come help. And she's like, no, I didn't.
I didn't say any
But,
such
like,
thing.
I know you guys have all seen the TikToks of like whenever Reese does show up and is like looking at her wedding dress, right? And he's just like,
Ugh.
like what do you
What is
have
that?
on?
When
Like
you
who
bought
dressed
it.
you? Because I just totally picture like that being like Reese's mentality, like his character, right?
Yeah.
Just being like, how dare they dress
Why would
you?
they put you in that? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was your wedding.
Yeah.
day."
I can honestly, like, it's one of those things where you can picture him just, like, standing with, like, a hand on his hip and his hand out to the side, like, girl!
Like a baby at your first communion. or your baptism.
Yes.
You know, they put those babies in those fluffy
Oh my
dresses.
god,
Like
yes.
a little puff ball. That's what I picture.
Yes.
Oh.
But I also just love the fact, too, that he just, like, lands and people just, like, scatter.
Yeah.
They were just like,
yeah.
Gone,
Like,
gone, bye, gotta go.
Gotta go.
Have fun with
My
this.
Uber's here.
My Uber's here. I gotta leave.
Oh.
And he's just like, I'm just gonna enact my bargain
Yeah,
right
he's like,
now.
oh, hey, by the way.
I gave you 2 months off,
yeah.
but like, we're gonna do this now.
I cut
Yeah.
you some slack.
And
Tell
then-
a friend to tell a friend. She's back.
But yeah, and then Tamlin just proves himself as a fucking big ass baby
Yeah.
and goes and destroys his study.
Yeah.
Just blows it to fucking
Yikes.
smithereens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the first time I read this book, I don't know if it's because I read it on my Kindle, I imagined this this entire like time where Reese and like will, you know, enact with his bargain with like Feyre and bring her back. Like I picture that happening over like months and months and months, like it happening over and over again.
Yeah.
And like
it was like
it's
3
not like
times,
that
wasn't it?
at all. Yeah.
Did it only happen like 3 times or some shit like that?
Yeah.
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 It wasn't, yeah, she didn't
Yeah.
go to him a lot until
Yeah.
that time when she was actually,
You know.
like, taken.
Well,
when
I
they-
feel like it happened.
Maybe it was like an exposition kind of thing where they just told us.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I don't know. It just felt so much longer on my Kindle.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
than I read like in, you know, I only made it to like page 200, but you know, that's fine.
I just loved it.
It's your second read.
My
so it's
second
fine.
read through.
Yeah.
Yes. Page
She's
200.
read the whole
I've
book
read
once
it.
before.
And
It's just
that's
she was reading it
not
again.
just talking out of my butthole here.
Yeah. I also hate the fact too that they like she starts showing these powers that she has. Like one of the times when Tamlin's like freaking out and he blows things apart and she like puts the air bubble around
Yeah.
herself.
I have one note about this.
Okay, what is it?
Which we'll come back to like what you were saying about her manifesting. her
Yeah.
powers or whatever. I don't know. This is what I wrote. I said I don't know if it's more terrifying that I thought that when Tamlin, you know, kind of like destroyed everything around her, it's because like she was only protected because he was protecting her and trying to intimidate her. Right? That's what I thought at first when I first read it.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she was the one who put up the shield.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't done that, he would have really hurt her.
Yeah.
And I don't know which is worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse.
I know.
Like was he trying to intimidate her or would he really have hurt her? You know, kind of thing.
My thing is I think he would have really hurt her.
No, he would've.
He
Yeah,
would have.
had she not put up
100%.
the
Had she
shield.
not put up that shield, 100%
So
she would have.
back to
He
what
would have hurt
Nicole
her.
said. He's an abuser.
He is. He
an abuser.
yeah. And he's never gonna change. I'm sorry, but those types don't change. They never do. Never do. But I just hate the fact too that they like wanted to just stifle her abilities.
Yeah.
Like she had this proof that these abilities were coming out and they were just like, it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
How
To
is
let
it
the other
too
courts
dangerous?
know.
Literally, after seeing her tortured for 3 months underneath this mountain, you would not want her to have something to
Right?
help protect herself
Yeah.
against anything.
Right?
Like that makes like
No
the
sense
math
whatsoever.
It's not mathing. It's
No,
not.
it's not.
Like, tell me, how are you gonna say like, oh, well, I'm just trying to keep you safe and all. Let her defend herself
Exactly.
if you were
Mhm.
not
Right.
there.
Exactly.
Safe.
Yes.
Trying to keep her safe, you would hone those powers and you would help her
Just
learn
like
to use
Reese
them.
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna get into it.
Because
You know,
he understands
cared
her.
so much that he was teaching her how to write. Little
Exactly.
bit for illiterate Farah. Okay?
Exactly.
That's his first lesson. He's like, listen, bitch, this is boot camp. You're gonna learn how to read.
And he's just like, Reese is amazing.
Yes.
Reese is
Delightful.
gorgeous. Reese is hot.
Reese is the best High Lord.
And she's just like, what is this bullshit? I just love the fact too that she just like slowly starts to fall for him.
Yeah.
Where it's just
It is
like
such a slow burn.
it is.
so
And like one of
delicious.
the first things I wrote, it's like page 274. I forgot what happens, but he like comes back from something and she just like starts scanning him for like injuries. And I'm just like catching feelings question mark.
There's
Yeah.
one
Like, ma'am?
scene- There's one scene, I don't even think it's meant to be this hot, but where he's preparing her to go to the Weaver because they decide like
And he's kneeling in front
Yes!
of her like,
Oh.
ah!
he's got his hands on the back of her knees.
Yes!
Sweating, oh my god.
He like makes her step into the
Yeah.
yes,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh, I know. I don't think it's meant to be like a hot scene, but yes, I'm just
Yeah.
like, Oh,
Just because, like, you
Give it
know,
to me.
you know the chemistry that they're having.
yes.
You know the feelings are there. And, like, it's just...
I feel like we're jumping too far ahead. Can we talk about the inner circle where she gets to meet everybody?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I
Like,
think that was another reason why she fell so much in love with Reese.
Yes.
Because she got to see his interaction with those around
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
You know, and the fact that he did have more than just one person with him that are
Right.
not serving him,
Right.
but that are friends
Yeah.
with him,
Right.
that are actually a
He is
family.
he is not the High Lord when he's with them.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's just one of their
absolutely
friends.
not one to pull rank at
No.
all.
Yeah.
No.
They're all equals when they're
Mhm.
with each other, and I think that's really special considering what we know
His
about the
reputation,
other,
yeah.
his reputation and what we know about the other High Lords, right?
Yeah.
Who are borderline evil,
Right.
you know.
Tamlin.
Fairies are evil.
Fairies are evil.
The fairies are evil.
But yeah, she meets who does she meet first? She meets
More.
More. Oh yeah,
Because
that's
Moore
right.
rescues her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And more. I remember like it makes me so sad too, and like sad kind of ish. But like
Well,
Moore
Moore-
wants to be her friend so bad, and she just like waits for favor to like
Moore's
come
the
to
only
her.
one, right? Moore's the only one that she meets before she actually gets taken to.
Yes.
She
Yeah,
doesn't-
she does
she
not
doesn't
meet
meet
Cassian or Azrael or Amryn before she
Right.
comes to like permanently live there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's just more.
It's just more. And like yeah, and like the second time she goes, like Reese was something along the lines of, like, well, Moore waited for you to like make the first move and like come see her and you didn't.
Right. Because
And
the
I'm
first
just
place he takes her. It's not Valaris. It's
He takes her to that oh shit. It's the one that's like on the top of the mountain.
the House of Wind, right?
No, House of Wind is in Valaris.
What's the other one?
It's
It's like on top of the Court of Nightmares, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's that place that he takes her to first, and it's got like, I picture it as this like tower type of like square tower on the top of this mountain with like all open walls
Yeah.
and just like curtains blowing
Yes.
in it, and like
Oh my
yes,
God. That's so what I pictured too.
like it just seems gorgeous, and
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's freezing cold up on the mountain, but like in that room, it's just like perfect temperature.
Yeah.
I love Moore. She's another one.
I love
where,
her
like,
too. I want to be friends. Like, I just want to be friends.
We discussed this in like the last episode that we recorded, but like the way I picture her in my head is completely different from not completely.
Okay,
different.
how do you picture more?
You know how you ever seen Twilight?
Yes.
Victoria in the first movie with the red hair, the
No!
red like flowing hair.
She's blonde.
No, I know that. I know she's blonde,
No.
but that's how I picture her. That's
I just picture this very tall, skinny, but also like busty, like very
Blonde.
pointed features, but
Blonde
very yeah,
fade.
blonde. Like yes,
Yeah.
like
Oh, a Baywatch.
yes, yes,
I
100%.
just started playing.
Charades.
Charades.
I just started like mimicking running in slow motion, and Lee's just like Baywatch.
I'm dead.
No, for real,
That's
that's-
how I picture her, with like red hair. Still like tall and like beautiful and like,
But with red hair?
Yeah, with red hair.
Interesting, even though
I know
she's
she's blonde.
described
I know she's blonde.
multiple
I know she's blonde.
times.
Okay, this is what we talked about last time. I know Amryn is pale. In my head, she's a black woman. So I know. We talked about this. Okay.
I don't know
I
why
don't know, I
it cracks
feel
me
like
up every time she's a black woman.
She is. That's how I picture her.
I think there's just so much more left to be said about Moore.
Love her.
100%.
Like
I love how
there's some things that I'm not particularly fond of that she does decide to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I feel like I don't have enough of her to
we
really
need a book about Moore.
understand her, to
Yeah.
really get to know her.
Yeah.
I feel like
Lots
Through
of
the-
secrets there.
yeah, I definitely feel like she's like a closed book.
Yes.
And that's why I couldn't connect with her as much as like all the other inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't get too much from her.
And I would love to hear a lot of her story. I mean, we got a little piece of what has happened to her previously, but I would love more.
Yeah.
love more of it. The Morrigan. I just want to know more about her.
I love how their friendship kind of develops in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I won't get into spoilers, but
Why? There's a whole thing of spoilers.
No, I
Oh,
know.
the next
I
books?
well, it's Silver Flame, which you
Gotcha.
haven't read yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But like there are times when like they're like cuddling like on the couch together, and it's like sweet. It's just like friendship
Yeah.
between women is just so pure.
Yeah.
And
Who is the next person that she meets?
I think
Well,
she meets Cassian and Azriel at the same
Because
time.
they're just banging on that door.
Yeah.
Like, let me in.
Hello! What are you guys
No,
doing
you've got a
there?
friend in there. They just
Seriously.
are a couple of puppies.
I love them.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I love them
Me too.
so much.
I forgot how like sassy like Azrael is.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
he's just so. In my head, I always picture him real quiet, real broody, but he's just kind of. He's like
He's witty. He's
Yeah.
like,
very witty.
There was a kid who used to work at Toys R Us with me. He was one of our back of house guys,
Uh-huh.
and he reminds me of like they remind me of the same person so much because he very much was that like very quiet, kept to himself, really only talked to like our group of friends because like that's who he was like comfortable around.
Yeah.
But like if you said something to him, he would give you the most out of pocket, sassiest response that you could ever fucking imagine, to the point where I would look at this kid sometimes and be like, Matt, you can't fucking say that to people. Like, are we for real right now? And he'd be like, what? They're stupid. And I'd be like, I get that, but like, you can't just say that. And he just reminds me of him so
my God.
much.
I get it. I respect it.
Exactly.
but
We can't do that. And that just reminds me of like some of the conversations that I bet Reese just has like in private with Az sometimes, where he's just like,
Yeah.
dude, I
There
get
is-
it.
Oh no, we can't talk about it because it's Summer Flame.
Oh, God.
literally.
We gotta remember that extra chapter. I could not
I was
believe the
like-
way they were talking to
I
each
was
other.
I was like,
See, but I just picture that being them in like private, just like talking to each other and being like,
Yeah.
dude, I understand that, but
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? You
Yeah.
can't fucking say that shit. Like,
I was
fucking
literally-
stop.
Oh my god, I want to talk about
No,
it so bad.
Nicole, you are not.
Please don't tell me.
Like,
Please don't tell
Azriel,
me.
I was like, Azriel, stop. What are you doing?
But see, but I feel like that's
I feel
the
like
point with Reese is Reese would like be like, it's perfectly fine for you to talk to me like that,
Yeah.
because I get it, because I get what you mean. I get that you're not. It's not
right.
actually to me, but it's to me because you need it to be to me
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like going back to it, where Tamlin would be
Yeah.
like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Oh, you want to fight? Let's go,
Right.
type of
Yeah,
shit.
I think also they grew up together and
Yeah.
they kind of know each other's like all their dirty little secrets.
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And you can't really hide anything from someone that you've known that long, who's
Yeah.
that close to you. And so I think that's why their relationship is the way that it is.
Mhm.
But you can also tell that they're just boys.
They
You
are.
know? Like they're just
They
boys. There's like a scene in here. I tabbed it. I don't remember which tab it was. Where Feyre just like notices that like when Cass and Azriel are around, they like Reese just has like this chill kind of like demeanor to him. You know, his like he's relaxed and like
Mhm.
he's in his happy place.
Yeah.
When they went out to
Emotional.
eat, when they went out to dinner, that's like
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, he's just some
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
person, regular
Yeah.
guy who's just out to dinner with his group of friends, and like, you know, that's that, and he's
And
not
he's
this.
not like the High Lord. He's
No.
like
He's
just a guy.
Yeah,
He's just
a
Reese.
dude.
He's just Reese.
He's just Reese.
Yeah.
Which I love him.
I know.
I love him so much,
I do.
so much, so
Why
so
can't
much.
you be real?
Right? Oh.
Listen, there are some like a little bit of like a critique that I have of like the what are they called, the Illyrians?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
A little.
I mean,
Are,
no.
are you talking
no,
about
no,
like
no.
the
just like
the
just like
establishment itself? Because
it's just the night court,
Mhm.
in the sense that we're like they and I know them as like the three like men can't do much, but also you know that these things are happening to like Illyrian women, and like things like that, and like yet nothing is being done about it. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like you can't put the title feminist on them and then like them having this thing happen and just kind of turning a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what a lot of people go into like ACOTAR thinking, oh my god, Reese is just so, he loves women and like
But I
think the way that because like the Illyrians and like the Night Court, like they're together but they're also
not.
right. Yeah.
And I think that's what they
where like
really
he
try to
has
establish,
and
right?
it's almost like he has rule over them, but in a sense he really doesn't.
Right.
Because like he had even said he has tried, and it's like as soon as he leaves, they just go back to their old ways. And in a sense, it's like, okay,
And he
do I
cannot-
want to create a rift
Right.
between us and them,
Right.
and not have them at my disposal when need be? Or do I just kind of let them do what they're doing? And yeah, I don't like it, but I can't fight it, unfortunately.
But there's like he can only do so much because he's not,
And he's not-
omnipresent, right. Like he can't be there,
Yeah.
constantly at all times.
And also to them, he's not one of them because
Right,
he's
right.
not full Alarian.
Right.
He's only half. Only
Right.
his mother is Alarian. So to them, yeah, okay, whatever. He's a High Lord, but he ain't fucking shit to me. You know what I mean? Because he's not technically one of us.
Like I get it, but like I get it. I get it on both sides. I don't know. They're just I don't know.
I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
It's, I don't know. They can't.
Because if
can't-
if he were to show up in the place and go full on Rhysand, show all his power and all this stuff, like it's not.
all he's gotta do is miss one person. He's just gotta miss one person to make an example out of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Not really.
But again, then that just puts him in a category of like a tyrant, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which he's
Like-
trying not to be.
Exactly.
But like, is it being a tyrant if you were stopping people from doing things?
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, do we know? I don't know. Like,
It is a double-edged sword, I guess.
It is a double-edged sword because he wants to do the right thing, but he knows doing the right thing is going to cause more trouble than needs be.
right, and so if he gets rid of somebody who's like high ranking in there, right?
And like I said, he if he goes and wipes them all out, he needs to rebuild from the bottom, and they don't have time for that. That's the other thing.
But that's also like not an excuse.
It's not. But if you think about it in the long term, when it is. If you think about it in the long term of like war coming, because like
Right.
in this whole book, they already know war is coming.
Right.
Rhys knows
But-
100% beforehand war is coming with Highburn.
I can't
It's
say-
not.
All I'm saying is that I don't think that they should be separating themselves from like, we're the good guys, we're Illyrians, but we're not the bad ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
But
you
I
either
do
are or
think
you aren't.
I do think
and-
the events of A Court of Silver Flames is going to change some of that.
Oh yeah.
1010%. I think A Court of Silver Flames, what happens
Yes.
is going to change that.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
She meets Amren. Feyre meets Amren, and it's like the way that she's described by Rhys being like, "Hey, don't fucking touch her shit." It just makes me think of like a little dragon sitting on its hoard. of
Yes.
gold. And like the dragon's 5'2".
Oh god.
I love that.
Yeah. I would also love more backstory on Amren
Me too.
and like where she's come from, and because she's been around before the world was a world type of thing.
I have a very, very, very strong feeling that whatever the heck that she is has something to do with like maybe some entities that are in Crescent City of some sort, like or even Throne of Glass.
You know, I would love to have like a whole backstory on her.
Like, and we find out this body that she's in is not her.
Yeah, it's not
original
hers.
body,
So also too, like, where'd she get it? Where'd it come from? It
This
just
was pretty.
she was like, I have this body. And according to Crystal, it's a black woman with a bob.
Yeah, she's got a bob. I don't care what anybody says. And like I said, we talked about this last time. Sometimes I'll read descriptions and I'm like,
No.
No.
But also, now that I'm thinking about it too, like the way she's described almost makes it sound like the body she's in is human.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like she's not, like the body
Fae.
she's in is not Fae.
Do you think it's somebody she knows?
I don't
Or she
know.
knew?
Maybe.
Lore.
But also, like, could it possibly key in somehow to Crescent City?
I don't know shit about Crescent.
Neither do I. None of us have read Crescent City yet. But you know what I mean? Like, could it key into that? I never thought of that before. Because, now that I'm thinking about it, like, she doesn't...
Did she have a body before?
No, I don't think so. The way that they
think
describe
she's
it,
like-
she's just like a being. Like, she's just like...
kind of
She's just there.
like what are the other ones? Which I know we haven't got into that yet, but
What other ones?
you know, like Baraxes.
The thing in the library.
Or
Oh,
Cassian.
wait.
Oh!
Does that comes up in Wings and Ruin, doesn't it?
I would say that's the next book. Yeah, that's not... Yeah.
Okay, but either way.
Yeah, I
the
forgot
thing
about
in
that.
The bottom of the fucking
The bottom of the library, yeah. It's just like a
Cassian
being.
went down there one time and like has never been able to get over what he saw
Yeah.
down there. And like what if Amryn is one of those
Like
things?
a- like a-
Well, because they talk about how they're friends, but they're terrified of Amryn. Like
well, yeah.
Cassie and Azrael terrified of
And
that
it's
girl.
also
Like
been made known too that the body that she's in kind of limits her abilities.
Yes.
As well.
Right.
That she's not able to reach her full potential or
Yes.
use her
Yeah.
full powers.
and also too, all she eats is blood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's all.
That's
That's what she
so
lives on.
hot.
You know what I like?
Yeah.
That's what she lives on. Is
Yeah.
like Feyre
She-
literally
and
goes
she
and has
says-
like warm goat's blood for her.
Yeah.
Just like here you go.
Yeah.
What a good friend.
Right?
To bring
Okay.
blood.
Like I don't know if I would be able to do that. I'd just be like, you can go get that yourself. And then they start going into looking for the book.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a war coming.
War is coming.
The book.
The King of Hybern, which was apparently supposed to be connected with Amarantha, but then Amarantha decided to do her own thing,
Yeah.
and
Well, the way they describe it is Amarantha was like a test
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see how well Prithian would handle somebody coming in, type of thing. But yeah, she was like a toned down version of the King of Hybern.
And they need to get the book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The second half of the book. They're both
Both halves.
of the book.
Both halves. Because the first half was in Summer Court.
And so they're like, oh, well, the book was made by the Cauldron. Farah was made by the Cauldron. So, Farah's logically must have some kind of ability to like track the book.
Yeah.
And Rhys puts her to a test to go and get his shit back from the Weaver.
I love it. I hate that part because like fuck you, Rhys.
Yeah.
Literally fuck
Yes.
you. But like also like thanks because you just proved that she can fucking handle herself and you proved to her
Right.
that she can handle herself. You know?
But what was he gonna do if she got her hands on her?
Right? Was he just gonna like just
Just
be like, all right, cool, she got it? Because he like
Right.
fucked off. Like he was
Yeah.
like gone.
Well, he's not supposed to be there.
True.
Yeah.
So
But also too, she literally comes out. She's like a fucking ring. Like
oh yeah.
here's your fucking
Yeah.
ring. Like fuck you.
and he's just like, oh.
He's like, thanks. You did what I needed you
Oh
to.
my God.
I love him, but I
Little
fucking
rat.
hate him.
I
He's a
know.
little rat.
And then she's all pissed off and stalking away, and then he's kind of like, oh shoot.
Oh, I fucked up.
Wait, why is she mad?
She's really mad.
They are like this Cardian is like a younger version of
Yeah,
Reese.
and
Big
then
time.
they-
Like, oh, this is gonna be funny. Ha 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 ha.
And then
Oh
he's
wait,
just
she didn't
like,
find it funny.
At the end
Shit.
of the day, he is just a man.
True.
You know?
He's just a man.
I think it's funny how like he's like hundreds, thousands of years old,
Yeah, he's
and yet-
old.
and yet he's just stupid.
Well, he's a man,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, this will be fun. He thinks it's like flirting.
yeah.
Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna send you in to get the ring from the Weaver, and it's like flirting to him. It's like a game.
Yeah.
At what part?
And he almost gets her killed.
At what part in the book was that?
Oh
On
God.
page 200, because that's what I got to last night. Chapter 21 to 23.
Oh yeah, she was like singing a song
Yeah,
the entire
creepy
time, like a
little
creepy
song.
little song the entire time, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Who's in my house?"
Isn't she described as just like a woman? Like white skin and...
Yeah, but then like once you fully look at her, you can tell that she's like decrepit.
Yeah.
like Uncanny Valley.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I feel like that. Above her young, supple body, beneath her black, beautiful hair, her skin was gray, wrinkled and sagging and dry, and where eyes should have gleamed instead lay rotting black pits.
Yeah.
Her lips had withered to nothing but deep, dark lines around a hole full of jagged stumps of teeth, like she had gnawed on too many bones. And I knew she would be gnawing on my bones soon if I did not get out. Her nose, perhaps once pert and pretty, now half caved in, flared as she sniffed in my direction. So, like, from the back, she's like this beautiful, young, flowing hair woman, and then as soon as you look at her face, she's like...
Fucking Crypt Keeper.
Goddamn, Crystal. Yeah, she's like, oof. Oof.
This is the part that I stopped reading, so I'm gonna need you guys to fill me in.
Well, after
So
this...
What happens?
After
Don't they go to summer court after this? He's like, it's finally time to move or whatever, like...
they go back to her home.
Oh yeah, because they need like
Oh, they go to talk to the because the mortal queens have the other half of the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what is in the summer court is what is it?
The book. The other half of the book's in the summer court. One half of the book's in summer in that building that like gets filled with water with the tide, and then the other half of the book is Tarquin is the High Lord.
That's what
Tarquin is the High Lord of Summer. Yeah, because they go to him.
That man.
I think they go to him. I know, right?
I love that man.
I hate in this book that they make them enemies. I really do, because really all he wanted was friends.
Yeah.
He really just wanted to be friends with Reese and with Feyre.
I think
And-
that was like their misunderstanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them to think that he would be that way.
Yeah.
Right?
She really, and I really wish that she just was like, hey, can I just, like, so this is what's going on, can I just, like, have that book? Because I really think he would have turned around and been like, yeah, here you go.
Right.
Have it. I mean, I'm not doing with it, nothing with it. It's just locked in a...
Well, going into the human world first.
Oh, yes. Going to meet with the mortal queens, which they're fucking bitches, and I fucking hate them.
And we get another glimpse at Nesta and Elaine.
Yes. And, I wrote down, where did I write it?
I knew something was gonna happen between Nesta and Cassian just because of like the
But just the
immediate.
vibe that.
Oh, yeah. As soon as they meet,
my
they just,
God.
like, daggers towards each other, and just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking rip you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I wrote down that I love that Elaine finally starts to stick up for herself and others.
Yeah.
Because, like, page 255, what does she say?
I'm sorry. I just that page right there is whenever Cassian like calls Nesta out on her crap too.
Yes.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
Where
bad.
he literally says, your sister died to save my people. She is willing to do so again to protect you from war. So don't expect me to sit here with my mouth shut while you sneer at her for a choice she did not get to make and insult my people in the process. And then it goes, Nesta didn't bash an eyelash at him.
I know because she just
so toxic.
yes, because she literally just like looked at him and is like, "What are you looking at?" Like,
I
dude,
love them.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
They are horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
They really
toxic.
are.
They are toxic, but I love them. Oh, by the way, Mara is now here. If you're hearing
Yeah,
my
Mara
voice,
decided to join us.
Mara's
Nice. to work.
She's back from her job.
That apparently is more important
And then
than
us, and hanging out with us.
right.
You
Just
said
kidding.
job like how Joey's mom says job.
What is
Job.
that? Like your silly little job.
hobby.
No,
Here's a
it's
little
not
hobby
like that.
of
I meant
waxing
job
people's
as in,
eyebrows.
I meant job as in like your job. That's more important than us.
If not more important, I would quit it in a heartbeat.
I know.
Yeah, but also the fact too that they write these letters to the queens and they take like 9 fucking years to get back to them. Like they're literally like, hey, so war is coming. We need to talk to you about it, and they're just like,
war been coming.
Is it in this book? Is
The
it in
war?
this book
What?
where the city gets attacked?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, because what happens is so they go and they meet the queens,
Like-
they talk about them with it,
Oh,
and then they're like, oh, well, we need a gesture of good faith from you. And they're like, okay, like we'll figure it out and we'll come back. And then they go back home, they go to the summer court, they get that half of the book, they do other things, and then Rhys is finally like, I need to show them Valaris. Like, I need to show them Valaris.
Dang.
And Feyre's like, you're gonna bring them here, you can't do that. Like, this city is the way that it is because of, you know, how well
Nobody
kept it
knows,
is, because nobody
yeah.
knows about it. And he's like, no, we have another way. And they go and they steal that globe thing from Moore's father, from the actual Court of Nightmares.
Yeah.
That.
Which, woo,
Yeah.
when he, like, breaks him,
Uh-huh.
physically
That
breaks
whole-
him.
That whole thing. Oh my god.
Oof.
It was.
I want a man to break another man just because he said some snarky remark to me.
I
Like, just
loved it.
tear him
Yeah.
down,
I
please.
just love that he just plays this completely different from the way Rhysand really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
To this image that everybody has of him in the Court of Nightmares is just like, it is the most hottest thing.
He portrays that character so well. It's
He
scary.
does.
Yeah, so they get that, and then they go back to the queens and they show them Valaris, and that one queen is just like, nah, fuck you. Like, we'll worry about ourselves. It's fine. And the other, like, younger queen just, like, drops the book underneath her chair.
Mm-hmm.
And who is it? Feyre, who's still just, like, screaming, and Rhys is just sitting there, like, and it's whatever. And she's like, why the fuck aren't you mad? They're not giving it to us. And the whole time he just, like, saw the book under the chair, and he's just waiting for her to just, like, stop and, like, let them leave.
He's like, calm down,
Like-
you hysterical woman.
He's just like, will you just stop? We already have it. It's fine. Yeah, and then they end up, like, selling them out to Hybrid and, like, telling them that, you know, they have this hidden city that is perfect and tucked away and nobody knows about, and
And it's never been attacked in, like, how long has it been? Like, it's never.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it's been around forever, since, like, his ancestors' are the ones who
Just like,
weaved
ew.
the spell that keeps it hidden.
Well, and I'll imagine also everything he sacrificed to keep it
Exactly,
hidden
that's the
from
thing,
America.
too.
And now it's just like out there
Mhm.
in the open.
Yeah.
You know?
He killed off his own men
Mhm.
so that they wouldn't
Yeah.
tell, or
Yeah.
she couldn't get into their minds
Yeah.
to tell where this city was when they all got caught and got
Yeah.
brought underneath the mountain.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, he did all of this, and then he was like, okay, fine, I'll give you a gesture of good faith, and then they just go and fucking betray him.
Yeah.
And but when she
So-
fucking kills the adder, oh, she's a fucking badass. Yes, Feyre. The fact that she is just like tumbling with him through the sky, and it's just like
Yes.
knife here. Oh my! And you're just like it's another one of those scenes where like you feel like you can't breathe because you're just
Yeah.
reading it, and it's just like going and going and going, and you're reading it so fast.
So much happened at the end of this book that it was just like back to back to back to back.
And it was another one of those things where like I said, I completely forgot what happened. So when I reread the end, I'm sitting there just like, no,
It was
no,
like reading it all
no,
over
no,
again for
like
the
why are
first
you
time.
doing that? And come to find out, she like fakes the whole thing, and I just love the fact that even without their bond, and I know we just jumped like a whole point to like the end of the book, but like we'll go back. I just love that even because like their bond wasn't working at that point. Like the King of Hybrid had put his little powers out or whatever, but even without their bond, Rhys still understood that she was putting on this big show, and that he just had to play along with it. And I just it just shows how truly connected
Connected they
the
were.
two of them are.
So are we jumping?
I just don't. I mean, you can go talk about whatever you want to talk about. It just everything kind of raveled into one to jump to there. So
We gotta talk about what is it? 54, 55?
Oh my god.
Chapter
Well,
Is that what
50.
scene I'm
maybe-
thinking about?
Yes.
Maybe we should wait, right? Like we should
Is
Wait,
there
what am
another
I- what am
thing
I
that we need
missing?
to get to?
With 54 and 55.
Well, I really want to
Hello.
talk. I really want to talk about like the summer court because I freaking love Tarquin. I love him. I can picture him 1000% in my head. Like he is the most kindest, sweetest soul, and it made me mad
Yeah.
that they did that to him.
Yeah.
You know?
One part about, I don't know if it was chapter 55 or 50, what is it? 50, what are the two chapters?
Yeah.
When they're in the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how she just paints that cabin.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't ask, nothing. This isn't my home. I didn't grow up here, but I'm gonna fucking paint every single wall because I can, and I'm mad.
Right.
Not every single wall. She painted every surface in that fucking cabin.
Yeah.
Like the furniture, the
Yeah.
counters, the cabinets, everything got fucking
Yes.
painted.
And then what was the first thing he said? He was like, you painted or something. Like I would have been like, here's a
yeah, he literally says, but Reese took in the painting I done, gobbling down the bright colors that now made the cottage come alive, and said, "You painted us."
I would have been like,
And then
here's a sponge.
She goes, "I hope you don't mind."
It's too fucking late now.
Azriel, Moore, Amryn, and Cassian, he said, marking the eyes I'd painted. You do know that one of them is going to paint a mustache under the eyes of whoever pisses them off that day. Oh, Moore already promised to do that. Also, little side note, speaking of eyes, this pisses me off.
Yeah.
Okay? Where did I put it? What color are Reese's eyes?
Oh my god, here
my
we go
God.
again.
And we're gonna do this again because there's certain parts where she describes them as blue. And then there's certain parts where she describes them as violet.
Yeah, but I always.
So what fucking color are his eyes? Pick one, because it pisses me the fuck off. Because he's always portrayed with violet eyes.
Yeah.
Constantly. But there are certain parts where she says that they're blue. Yes, Mara, your hand is raised.
Listen, if you go outside and look at my car, that's how I picture it. Because my car's blue, but sometimes in certain light it looks purple.
No.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Your card never looks purple, Mara.
It looks purple to me.
Let's talk about chapter 43.
I'm just gonna get more.
Whenever they
Chapter
come,
43.
when they come back from the Court of Nightmares, and Reese is all like, "I'm sorry you had to witness that. I'm sorry that you had to see us portrayed like that, like him, Cassian, and Az." And like, she's like, "No, don't start protecting me like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's not how it is." And then he's like, "Well, I just lost it whenever they called you whore." You know, and she said, and he just got quiet. And then to her, she's just like thinking of how he was called whore, you know, and everybody whispered it to him, and it was just like, and the fact that she was even like in Lucian, like Lucian would spit it in his face all the time, like he's just a whore, and I'm like, just saying whore a lot, but that, I don't know, that part was just like super like, I
Yeah.
don't know, just like she really, I don't know, saw a part of his life that really hurt him,
Yeah.
that really like affected him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Immensely, like to the point where he was like, what's that?
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that he broke his hands, broke his fingers?
Moore's father,
Yeah.
Kier.
yeah, just like destroyed him. Just because he can.
And the scene in Court of Nightmares was so hot.
It was
hot.
It was
Oh
hot.
my
It
God,
was hot.
yes.
It was
100%.
so
Oh.
hot. Like wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was so. It was good and tasteful and just like lick my neck, Resan. like what?
Oh my god.
It was so hot.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it was just like, you can't tell me that this is all an act. You guys,
Yeah.
you're enjoying
Right.
it.
But the thing is, you go to chapter 43, and she literally turns around and goes, "You are my friend." No.
Listen, me and
No.
Nicole are friends.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
right? Yeah, me and
Let me-
Crystal are
let me
friends.
climb-
Me and Leah are friends.
Let
Like,
me climb right over into Nicole's lap right now.
I'm gonna be like, Crystal,
Let me just nibble on her ear.
right? Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
That is not a friend thing.
No.
Exactly.
Even if you're putting on a quote unquote
Even if we
performance.
were really a good friend.
Right? No.
It was literally done so tastefully, so beautifully. It
Yes.
was so freaking hot.
Yes.
Give that
Yes.
to me any day.
Yes.
Feyre's acting was a 10 out of 10.
Because it's not acting.
I know.
Because it's not acting. I flipped when they were in the woods. Her fucking wings.
Oh.
When she grows
Uh-huh.
fucking wings. Because Lucian shows up. Fuck.
But at that point, Lucian and them, were they already working with Hybern?
Yes.
They were.
Yes. No, I don't think so yet. I don't think they were.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because it was Lucian, Baron, and Hart or whatever their names are, and then some other like Sentry, whatever they're called.
Well, it was those two people, right? Those two. I don't know.
The twins?
Yeah.
No. The twins don't show up until the next book.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, yeah, it was just them in the woods because I'm pretty sure that Tamlin then said, or Lucian says, oh, well then when we came across you in that woods that day, that's when he knew he had to do something different or whatever, and that's when he went to Hybern. So no, I don't believe they were with Hybern yet. But just the fact that she just is sitting there talking to Lucian and he just pisses her off so fucking much.
Yeah.
That she just grows claws and wings and Rhys is just standing back there just like, that's my bitch! Let's go!
Wait, did you guys already talk about the surreal?
No, we didn't know because that would be after this.
Oh yeah, it was directly after.
Yeah, it was directly after this because then all of a sudden they basically get surrounded or whatever it is and Rhys gets dragged away and she's out in the woods searching for him and then she goes and she finds Hybern's warriors or wherever they are and fucking murders all of them and
As she should.
exactly as she should. And that's where more of her powers come out because she fucking changes her eyes to be able to see at night. And does all of that shit. Yeah, and then she goes and she captures the Surreal again and she's like, tell me what I need to do to save him. And then that's where the Surreal turns around and is like, do this and your mate will be saved. And she's like, my fucking what?
Yeah.
Excuse you now?
Yeah. Okay, so if we're going, because I didn't, and this is my fault, right, for not rereading it, but so after Court of Nightmares,
Yeah.
what happens?
After Court of Nightmares, that's when they steal the orb. After the Court of Nightmares is when they go. Where do they
That's
go?
towards the end, isn't it?
No, because when they steal the Court of Nightmare, when they're doing the whole little skit of Court of Nightmares, that's 42.
Yeah.
And then 43 is when they come back and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry I had to
And
do all
it's
that,
Starlight,
whatever.
right?
Is it Starlight then?
It is Starlight that happens in chapter 44. Chapter 45 is they go to the Illyrian war camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they do all of that, and then what chapter is this? Chapter 49 is when he gets shot down and he gets taken. Well, he does. He literally gets shot, he literally gets arrows through his wings and shit.
Okay, so it's Court of Nightmares, Starlight, Illyrian war camp.
And then they go out to basically they're training.
Practice, right?
Yeah, and they stay in that little.
So much happens in
That-
the
It
last
does.
quarter of this
That's what
book.
I'm saying. That's why I had to go back. And
Yeah,
like,
because 48
remember.
they stay in that little top cabin and they're cold.
and that's where the one bed trope
Yep.
comes in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep, they share a bed with his wings out and everything.
And some other stuff happens.
Yep.
You know.
Mhm. And then then they're flying, and then it's page 478, where she's like, and then we were falling. Rhys gripped me, and his magic twisted around us in a dark wind, readying to win us out, and failed. Failed because those were ash arrows through his wings. They tracked us. Yesterday, the little magic he used with Lucian, they'd somehow tracked it and found us even so far away. Yeah, and that's where they do all that, and then she lands in the trees. And starts winnowing herself, finally learns how to winnow herself.
Yeah.
And winnows herself through the trees. And then she finds the cave with them in it and this strange blue chain. Or chain of blue stones. That basically was binding his magic so that it wouldn't work.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and then
I was just trying to remember what happened up until that point, like everything that happened in between. So like
between
at the end of chapter 46, that's whenever she sees Lucian after their training, right?
Yep.
And Reese is kind of away because
Yep.
she wants him to stay away so she can kind of do her own thing.
and then 50, they are in the cave. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like he's sick or whatever. And that's when she goes and she traps the Surreal again.
Yeah.
And she's like, give me a cure, whatever it is, mouthful, whatever, blah blah blah. You have to give him your blood and this flower or whatever it is. Yeah. And then the Surreal goes, if you wish to speed your mate's healing, in addition to your blood, a pink flowered weed sprouts by the river. Make him chew it. And then she's like, I fired my arrow at the snare before I finished hearing his words. The trap sprang free, and the word clicked through me. Mate, what did you say? And then the Surreal was like,
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You heard what I said?
Yeah.
The High Lord of the Night Court is your mate. And she just wasn't sure she was breathing, and then he just went, interesting.
You can always count on him for the tea.
And that's when she literally walks back to the cave, and she's like, drink this, chew this. And just like, spit.
I think that interaction though, that between her and Lucian, whenever she finally like lets him have it,
Oh.
I love that for her. For her
Yeah.
to just tell him off and like you were my friend too.
Yeah.
You were my friend.
You claimed you were my friend.
Yeah, and you let me go. You know, like it was. Yeah.
You sat there and you watched me wither away to nothing, and you did nothing to stop it.
Yep.
Like.
And I like the fact that Sarah, our good friend Sarah, right? She keeps the same like theme of Rhysand's like presence in every single situation. It's always the same. He enters the room in the same way, right? He enters the scene in the same way that everybody just like he's the High Lord of the Night Court. You know what I mean? Like he just is. And so,
It's like the tension in the air.
Yeah.
yes, and so like it literally like this specific part where it says Bronn and Hart flinched and backed away from me and from Rhysand at my side. Lucian froze. Dark, elegant clothes, no wings, no fighting leathers. The unruffled fine clothes, another weapon. And then just the way he talks to Lucian, he's like, little Lucian. Didn't the lady of the Autumn Court ever tell you that when a woman says no, she means it? Like, he was nowhere to be found, but because Lucian was just about to, like, grab her, he was, like, right there.
Yeah.
Like, I love Rhysand.
You and me both. So then all that happens, and she gets all pissy, and she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Why didn't you tell me? And then they get back to the house, and she literally looks at Mor, and she's like, get me the fuck out.
Yep.
I need to go somewhere.
I love how she does that. Like, she literally drags him, like, half dead back to the camp and, like, has no regard for him. She's like, fuck him.
She literally drops him in the mud outside of the thing.
And then
Walks
she's like-
inside, and she's like, get me the fuck out of here.
And, like, Mor just looks at him and she's like, okay.
She's like, sure.
This is, like, kind of off topic, but I've heard, like, a lot of people have had opinions on whether or not this series should be, like, a live action or a cartoon, and I really think it should be a cartoon.
I think they could get away with more things in animation than they
It's
can.
true.
Like,
They'd be able
and
to...
like animation these days are really good. Forgive me for talking about Blue Eye Samurai again, but on Netflix there's a beautiful, beautiful show, a great, gorgeous animation called Blue Eye Samurai, and if they could do it in that style, I think that shit would look so good. I think it would be so good.
I just feel like people are so picky, like, with this book. I like, even with me, I feel like I'd get pissed off if the Feyre and Rhys, like, aren't how I imagine them or how they're described in the book. And I feel like with animation, like, it's easier for them to get as close as possible.
I feel like they should do something like Avatar. Where it's like you technically have these real people playing these characters, but there's so much fucking CGI that you can't tell that they're real people.
Oh, like the Lion King movie.
Yes.
I think even if they picked people that weren't necessarily exactly what we imagined, but as long as they embody the character, the right way,
Right.
I think they can pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you have a good actor that knows exactly how to exemplify
You know
the
who
character.
Comes to, you know who comes to mind is Daemon Targaryen.
Yes, because like I mean,
I
it's
just
Matt's-
just finished that series.
Oh, is it not good? You can't tell me it's not good.
Once you get past the incest, yes.
It's
I
good.
love it.
Listen,
I love it. I
Now
love
Nicole's on the
I
chart.
know, yeah, I
But
know,
they-
it's just me.
They have to do it in like a good way. Like this reminds me of like the After series. I read the books when they were on Wattpad. Anna Todd like stole them, whatever, and they just finished making like the movie series, and like Harden is based off of like Harry Styles, and he looks nothing like him, but it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I feel like the character as far as like looks went, like okay fine, but they have to go by like the book, and I feel like so many movies they don't go by the book, so it's like you either gotta give me the characters or you gotta give me the book. I would prefer both, but like don't.
Well, that's like right now with me, the only person who embodies Cassian is Can Yemen. There is nobody else Can Yemen.
Oh, when
Look him up.
I freaking
Candy?
love
Can Yemen.
Oh my.
There is not a single
you.
other person on this planet who could play Cassian, and I'm sorry,
I
you
love
cannot
him
convince me otherwise.
So much. He is the hottest human being I have ever seen.
I love him.
With his beautiful long
Oh,
hair.
he is good looking.
He is Cassian,
Big-
100%. Like you cannot tell me otherwise. You know what I mean? And
Like
like,
who like Reese like
Nobody.
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 They'd have to cartoon his ass.
No, but like I said, I really do feel like I would be okay if they didn't necessarily get like they got as close as they could, right? But if he embodies,
It's about the actor being good enough to like
make us
play
believe
the
it,
role.
right?
Exactly.
To make us believe
See.
that's our reason.
What
I
was
feel
gonna say
like-
earlier
I feel
about
like-
Matt Smith is like Matt Smith and House of the Dragon. This man is not very attractive. The way he plays Damon
is
he
like
is
perfect.
So hot. Oh my god.
He is
so hot.
Right. Take away the long hair. Take
Yes.
away the armor. Take
Yes.
away. Put him in regular clothes. I would
He's just
not.
a plain
I
looking guy.
would not look
you know?
twice.
Yeah.
Give me his attitude.
Yeah.
Give me his
Mhm.
hair. Give
Yeah.
me his armor.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
That
I
scene
will.
where he was like he can keep his tongue.
He fucking chops what's his face's fucking head in half.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
God damn, I'm gonna have to watch this.
You
Me
have
too.
You have to. I
the way.
per the other podcast, incest not my thing. But if you
Well,
look
no, it's
past
nobody's.
it,
I mean, it's
I
some
know.
people's thing.
It's some people's thing.
but
But it's just the sultry way that he talks,
Yes.
the just cunning
He's
and
just
charming,
so
and it's like
attractive.
I thought that his nephew was his son, by the way. The one with the long hair.
Amen.
Aemon.
oh,
Yeah.
It's
I don't know the way these Targaryens getting around.
You never know.
It-
Anyways, moving on. So chapters.
I'm so sorry we keep talking about House of the Dragon.
okay.
Chapter 54 and 55?
54 by far was better than 55 for
Him talk.
Yep.
Yes, him just talking and
Bearing,
explain and
yes.
yes, literally just being open, and
bearing his soul. It was
it makes him so much hotter.
because he's a freaking high lord. Like he's a man, right? Like he's like this guy that rules over things, and he's gonna sit in a chair, cry, and spill everything out, and just tell you exactly from the moment that he saw you, how he felt, like all just kill me.
And then when he just gets to the end too, and he's like, that if she offers him a meal and like cooks for him, then like
And he
she
was just
accepts
like,
it, and she's just like, here's your food, and he's just like,
I know. He was like, wait, you want to cook for me? Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, yes.
Which makes me laugh because it seems like such an animal ritual.
yeah.
Like, oh, the male penguin brings the female a rock, a really shiny rock.
Really shiny rock. Yeah, it's just like, I know that those two chapters are just
I don't know. It's just hilarious.
What did I mark here?
I think there's nothing I've ever read that made me feel the way those 2 chapters made me feel.
Yeah, no.
It literally, like, I've never really had a book make me actively cry. This one brought me to tears because of those 2 chapters. Like,
It's also the fact, too...
well, that first chapter is
Yeah.
really what did it for me. That
Well,
first chapter.
What I marked on 521 is also to the fact that, like, they were meant to be together from the very, 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 very beginning.
Yeah.
Before they even knew who each other was. Because, like, he was getting these visions, these dreams under the mountain of this girl who had this destitute little life. And he was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, and then I just tried to, like, send an image down that dream one day, and da-da-da-da, and it, like, clicks for her, and she's like, my fucking dresser drawer. Like, I painted that because,
night
like,
sky.
he told me to paint the night sky type of
Yep.
thing. It's just like, goddamn. Like, it's the red string theory. It's literally the red string theory if you think about it. It's beautiful.
Just
It's
like, I
beautiful.
wish, like, I could just sit here and reiterate everything that he ever spoke and said to her to explain everything, but it's just so, it's long, first off, but it's just so beautiful, and it made me fall in love with him, even
Yes.
with the flaws that he does have, you know?
But I think
There
that's what
aren't
you.
many.
There aren't many.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't have a character who is absolutely 100% perfect.
Right.
You can't. To be able to be lovable and actually feel like a well-developed character, they need some sort of flaw.
Right.
They need it. And the fact that he literally is that, like, you come to find out he really is such a good fucking person, but he does have these flaws that make him
There are times, especially in Summer Flame, where I'm like, oh,
cringe.
Have you read it yet?
No.
no,
Oh my
she
fucking
hasn't.
God.
I'm progressively going. I'm not gonna just skip.
You're like halfway through Wings and Ruin, right?
No.
Oh,
I'm like a
fuck.
quarter of the way through.
Oh
Wings and
my
Ruin.
god.
That's what we need to
We're all
discuss when
waiting
we're
on
done
you.
talking is reading order, what we're
Well,
gonna
can
do.
we do it on the way to pick up Mia?
Yes, yes,
Oh, we're
yes.
16 minutes late.
Yes, we are. We've also been recording this episode for 2 hours.
No
Love
way.
that.
It's at 1:53 right now.
Super extra bonus episode.
Super extra.
Well, we're
We're pretty much done with it. I mean, after this, they go back to the Ilarian war camp.
and then we can just talk about the worst of the worst of the worst coming back up into the picture, and that's Mr. Tampon himself.
He is a fucking tampon.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact, little side note, that Crystal thought it meant that he did something
Listen.
sexual.
I asked somebody. I was like, "Hey, I've been reading this book. Like, I know Tamlin turns out to not be the love interest. Why do people call him Tampon?" And they said, "Oh, you'll find out." And I was like, "What is that supposed to mean?"
I understand why we don't like him, but I genuinely don't understand why, like, out of all the nicknames, Tampon.
Tampon?
I don't know.
I don't know. If you ask me, tampons are really useful. And
They are really useful,
they're
but
useful, and they've got your back.
He doesn't have anybody's back.
he doesn't. He's a piece of shit.
If anything, it's an insult to tampons.
True.
So,
True. Anyways, so they decide to go look for the cauldron. The cauldron.
That's a northern accent.
I know. I was like,
Why did I say it weird?
It's not necessarily
A
to
cauldron.
find the cauldron; it's to nullify it.
To nullify. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They know where it is.
And it's
It's
in,
to nullify
and
it.
it's in Highburn,
Yes.
Cauldron.
and they think that they have this great plan.
It was one of those things too that was like, okay, in essence, it was a pretty good plan, but also you're so fucking stupid.
You're literally going into the middle of, like, literally the center of the enemy's territory.
And you don't think that they have some sort of wards up to like
Yeah.
alert them to when somebody does something?
Right.
Come on.
Like,
nobody
let's-
ever accused them of being smart.
True. I mean, true.
I mean,
True.
Feyre can barely fucking read.
She's getting there, okay? We just talked about this.
Listen, if you guys go on TikTok and look up Feyre's handwriting,
No, we're not doing
cracks
this.
me up.
Oh, we're gonna
If you're
TikTok
ever,
of the little girl going, "Oh, what?"
the back, like,
Or
not Tamlin,
the one where the kid's
Reese.
like, my anus? Like, your anus.
That's-
My anus?
that is how you know. That is how you know Reese loves Feyre. Because when Alessia is like 5'6" and I'm having to teach her how to read, no, ma'am. Hoo-wah? No, ma'am. No, I've been done. I'm getting her a tutor. I mentally can't take this. And she's a grown woman.
She is. She's like, what, 22 or some shit like that?
To be fair, the English language is really difficult if you're learning it.
But they don't
You
speak
know.
English.
Well, whatever they're speaking. How do you know they don't speak English?
That's a spoiler. There's a part in Crescent City where Feyre and Reese pop
Yes.
into the world, and
And
the
Bryce.
character Bryce turns around and goes and they
Wow.
talk to themselves in some language that I can't understand.
Yeah.
And then Reese turns to Bryce and says something in English.
Wow, I didn't
Yep.
want to be spoiled.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Moving on. Anyways, okay, so yeah, so they get caught.
Yeah. Tamlin shows up. They turned.
He's a fucking ass.
Right?
Him, Lucian,
Lucian.
assholes. I literally wrote, fuck Tamlin, fuck Lucian, I hate them both.
Yeah.
Because they literally sold themselves and everybody and everything out to fucking Hybern.
Yeah.
You sold her fucking sisters, who she has talked to you so much about how much she loves and cares for them, and she has done nothing in her life but fucking make sure her sisters are alive and fed and taken care of, and you were just like, oh well, I'm gonna sell them out, and now this is what's gonna happen. And he's all like, I didn't know they were gonna do that, and they...
What did you think?
What did you think was gonna happen? What did you think? What did you think? Was it the King of Hyrule was just gonna be like, dangle, dangle, dangle. Okay, you're gonna go back with him. Here's your siblings.
Listen,
The fuck?
I understand like the traumatic part of it, but I would not get mad if someone turned me into a high fae.
True. I mean, I
Live
same
forever?
here.
Yes, please.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I'm sorry. I'd be the bitch. I'd be the bitch to be like, I can do what in the
I'm just gonna fucking dive in. You don't gotta push me.
Oh
You know, exactly. You don't gotta tell me, bitch. Play that song. I'm about to dive in.
Yep.
That would be me.
We
Right
can
in.
hold hands and jump in together.
Yeah, exactly. Me and
Like
Marlo.
cannonball,
Right?
if it's big enough.
I think it's big enough. I think it's big enough. I will say though that I do love the fact that Nesta was just like middle finger up
Yeah,
as she
yeah,
goes
yeah.
down.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's somebody who
Yeah.
made a sticker
No,
of the
that
cauldron,
that was
and it's just Nesta's middle finger in the air, and I
very-
want it.
It's very much like you're gonna fucking pay for this.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like-
Oh, she put a hit on the fucking King
Yeah.
of Hybern's head the moment she went underwater. The moment.
She's so hot.
And also too, I'm sorry, but Lucian just being like, oh, that's my mate.
Read the room. Read the fucking room.
Not the time and place, sir.
Oh my
Not the time and place in this light. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Lordy.
Poor Elaine. Like
Right? She
soaking
just went,
wet.
right?
Like her boobs are showing through her dress, whatever the fuck she's got on.
Right?
Poor thing. Everybody's staring at her, and Lucen, like with his stupid little jacket or whatever, covers her and is just staring at her like, you're my mate. She doesn't give two fucks, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I won't blame her for the way she acts in the next book.
Yeah, right. At all. At all.
So that's how that book ends.
That's how that begins.
Oh, well, I meant-
well, not
I meant-
really. I
well,
mean,
And
Feyre
then
puts on the
Hybern-
show of a lifetime,
Yeah, she does. She's all
making them
Oh,
think,
yeah.
break
Yeah.
it,
She's
break
been-
it,
yeah.
break the bond.
making
Love
them
it.
think that the bond's broken.
Well, she did it to save Az's life, right?
Yes.
Because
Az and Cat,
Az
Az
is
is
dying.
dying.
Has an ash arrow in his chest and is literally dying.
Yep.
And then you got Reese and, you know,
Like I said, I just love the fact that the bond that they could talk through is completely severed, and yet he just knows that she's faking this whole
Yeah.
thing and just, hey, okay, I'll just go along with it.
Yeah.
yeah, it still
And
felt so painful.
it's so
to
painful.
read.
And just
It
the
felt
fact,
so
too, that,
painful
like,
to read.
They drop into the foyer of the townhouse, and he's just like, she's my babe. Type of, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
she, you know, she's gone, whatever. And Amren's sitting there like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And then he's like, we got married. She's the High Lady of the Night Court.
Yeah.
And Moore's just like, "You're telling me that my High Lady is now in enemy territory?" And he's just like, "She's fine.
Yeah.
She got this.
She got it.
She's a High Lady of the Night Court.
Like, it's
She was
okay."
made for this.
But yeah, that whole ending thing is just like heartbreaking. I literally cried.
Yeah.
I didn't cry, but
I cried.
Well, whenever you're reading it for the first time, you're thinking like,
Yeah, oh yeah, you think 100% like,
what? The bond can be broken? Like, I was just
Mhm.
like, so they're no longer mates?
right?
Like, that's it? Like, that's how it's gonna end.
But then you come to find out that she has a tattoo on the other hand
Yep.
that proves that they're married.
what I
So,
will say is I'm really glad that this series was introduced to me last year when all the books were out, because I like sped through those in like what, a week?
A week.
Yeah.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I sped through those in a week, and I can't even imagine having to wait a year for a book to come out. No, ma'am.
Girl,
No.
I
Legit, by the time we get to Crescent City, I feel like everything's already out, so we don't have to wait for anything.
Yeah.
true. Well, let's see. I can't remember when the last book came out. When Frost and Starlight came out.
Well, I thought Silver Flame was the last one.
It was, but no, what I'm saying, I can't remember when Frost and Starlight came out, but I had to wait until 2021. Was it 21 or 2020? It was either 2020 or 2021 for Silver Flame to come out. And that's the reason I never read it. Because it had been so long since I had read everything else that I was like, oh, I just want to reread everything. And then I never got to it. Because
ready for you
of
to
everything. And then we started this, and I was like, I get to read again. You know?
Yeah.
I really wish Silver Flame was.
Ah.
I wish it was in someone else's point of view.
I don't.
She just doesn't like Nesta.
Or no.
There
I
is
mean,
something
you're
that
right.
happens-
I don't like Nessa.
There is something that happens that Mara would have liked to read from a different point of view.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
or at least
I don't care that
like
much.
how like the Frost and Start, like whatever that one, like the little novella. Like I really wish that she would write.
switched point of views.
Yeah, or at least write like a little novella.
That goes.
of
She might.
what
She
happened.
has already come out. She's in the process of writing
Which
the next
point of
book.
view are you wanting to hear from?
Reese and Feyre.
Yeah, one of them.
From the end? Like the end of what happened? Is that what you're wanting?
She would have
I
preferred
feel like-
their story during that time compared to Nesta and Cassian's.
Well, like I think she could have had those. I feel like she could have had them separately. I feel like Nesta and Cassian. I feel like they did deserve their own book, but I feel like also like you can't have how many books was in the series? 3-4 books of these two main characters.
But I feel like that she gave us everything we needed.
I didn't
What
get it.
what was happening in this in A Court of Silver Flames was literally just their life.
right, exactly.
You know? It was just their life. They were just living their everyday life.
Yeah.
Whereas Nesta was discovering
Right, Nesta had a story that had to be told.
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I completely
I think
agree
Silver
with that.
Flame would have been too fluffy had it been from Reese and Feyre's perspective.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not really all that interested.
You know?
I don't know. I
Maybe
feel
that's
like for me,
controversial. But
I feel like for me, like what they went through in that book, it was important.
was it like personal for you?
It wasn't too personal for me. I wanted to hear
I
more
feel
about
you.
it because you can't have
You
like
can't
these.
talk about it without it.
You can't have these like these four characters, not four characters. These two main characters. Like
Uh-huh.
you're rooting for them. Like you watch like how it all began, and then to have that happen in the book, and like it's kind of like the end of the story. I wish it would have been from their perspective. I'm glad that we got it, and I'm glad that we needed to see Nesta, her growth, her personal growth, Cassian's growth. I need to laugh because of that little thing in the library that he's scared of, and it just cracks me up. I don't know if it's
It's in Wings of Ruin.
Yeah,
I-
Baratheons.
I would really love to know. Like it's just like
We
a
also
glob,
we want to know
right?
what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's just a thing.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
thing.
like a glob, and like Feyre's just living her best life with him, and Cassian's like, no. But like, I'm glad we got it. I'm glad that we had that ending to the story, but I just wish, like,
Right.
I thought Silver Flame was perfect, and
well, fuck me, I guess.
Do we have anything else to say on Mist and Fury?
Nope.
No, but everybody needs to read this series because it's amazing.
It is
It's
amazing.
really good.
It is.
I read it in a week, so that should attest to how great it is.
True. Alright, so that is it. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, it will be posted on our Instagram, so head on over there if there's any questions, comments, concerns that we didn't get to that you wanted us to talk about. Make sure to please rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening to podcasts. We will greatly appreciate it, and it will help us out tremendously. I believe that is it. We will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.